This video is sponsored by the Crossing Board, more about them at the end. Hey guys, and welcome to another Animal Crossing video. I'm Crossing Channel, and today we'll be taking a look at the potential of DLC in Animal Crossing New Horizons. DLC is something that has always been a bit of a tricky subject for fans of video games. Some welcome DLC with open arms, whereas others completely reject the idea. There's good arguments for both sides, so in this video we'll be looking at how they could implement DLC within the latest iteration of Animal Crossing, what this could affect, and how extra paid content has already been implemented within Animal Crossing before. If you're looking forward to this video, be sure to leave a like, and let's get straight into this. Ever since the game was released, the concept of DLC has been on the minds of some players. With the game receiving free updates every few months, the question certainly comes to mind, could they start introducing paid updates? This definitely feels like a possibility given how much Nintendo could make from this. Though the idea may not sit well with some players, there's no denying that plenty would jump at the chance to purchase more content to play around with in Animal Crossing New Horizons. The question is, how could they balance this so it doesn't completely ruin what makes Animal Crossing such a great and accessible game? I think one thing many players would agree on is that we wouldn't like to see massive new additions like new shops and buildings locked behind a paywall. This is something that should be organically unlocked within the game by players and shouldn't be locked for those who can't afford it or simply don't like the idea of purchasing extra content. Splatoon follows a very similar update model to New Horizons, and they never locked any of the new playable stages behind a DLC paywall, instead introducing a separate paid DLC with its own story. Could Animal Crossing do something similar, introducing an entirely different side of the game through DLC, or would this just be a step that's way too far? I mentioned earlier that paid extra content has already been introduced into the Animal Crossing franchise previously. To discuss this further and what it could mean for New Horizons, I'll be joined by my friend and fellow Animal Crossing YouTuber, Mori. Take it away.
Hey everyone, Mori here. So Animal Crossing New Horizons is of course the most successful Animal Crossing game to date, and as many of you know, despite its core gameplay being very similar to previous installments, New Horizons is quite a different take on a typical Animal Crossing experience, at least for a mainline game. Of course, the game is all about developing a thriving community and interacting with your favourite villagers, but Animal Crossing New Horizons also does many things differently, mainly as a way to expand the gameplay experience for existing fans, but also to encourage more people to give the franchise a go for themselves. Now, one of the biggest changes to Animal Crossing was of course the introduction of the crafting mechanic into the mainline game, and although we've seen very basic levels of crafting in minigames such as Desert Island Escape, it was developed into the mechanic we know and love in Animal Crossing Pocket Camp, which came to smartphones over 3 years ago now. Now, Pocket Camp was hugely successful from the beginning, and at the time was not only a way to create a portable Animal Crossing game for mobile, but an attempt to introduce new players to Animal Crossing in hopes of converting them to New Horizons later down the line. So with this in mind, it's pretty clear that one of the biggest mechanics to ever be added to a mainline game was heavily influenced by Pocket Camp. Furthermore, when you start comparing the two, you can see quite a few similarities, such as limited time events and collecting special materials like we did during the wedding season for example. So this raises the question, as New Horizons continues to evolve and receive regular updates, will it take even more inspiration from Pocket Camp? For those that aren't familiar, Animal Crossing Pocket Camp's core gameplay revolves around crafting limited time items and uses the freemium financial model, which allows users to purchase content and complete tasks quicker using microtransactions if they want to. For example, a player can buy more in-game currency, more crafting materials, and even limited time items that otherwise can't be obtained in the game. Now, purchasing this kind of in-game content isn't a new concept in gaming and does already exist in console gaming too, so maybe this is something we could see come over from Pocket Camp in the form of paid DLC for New Horizons. As you know, New Horizons receives regular updates for free, but the game as a whole has huge scope for paid content too. For example, we could see things like special clothing items and bonus furniture sets locked behind microtransactions or paid DLC. Not too dissimilar to how other Nintendo games like Splatoon 2 offers optional paid DLC that adds new missions, game modes, and wearable gear to the game. Now, there are arguments to be made whether this kind of financial model is suitable for a game such as Animal Crossing, but offering optional bonus content for users can be a good thing, whether it's because it allows users to access items quicker if they lead busy lives, or as a way for regular players who simply want to take their game to another level. For this reason, it's entirely possible we could see some form of paid DLC that offers things like additional islands or island expansions for the hoarders out there, or even island ordinances that, if purchased, expand villager limits or access to additional rooms in our houses and things like that. So when you really consider how New Horizons could be expanded, paid DLC could be an option, especially when you see the success Pocket Camp has with fortune cookies and event items that can be purchased with real money, and how the game has already influenced the direction Nintendo took New Horizons in terms of mechanics and gameplay.
The idea of extra items being locked behind paid DLC certainly seems like a possibility to me out of all these potential options. Pocket Camp definitely had great success selling limited time items that many players leapt at the chance to get. Though this may not appeal to many of you, once again there's no denying this model did prove to be very successful for Animal Crossing Pocket Camp. Perhaps it could be okay to see some optional items locked behind DLC, since this wouldn't interfere with the core gameplay of Animal Crossing at all. Out of all of the options, I personally feel like this would work the best and wouldn't intrude too much upon Animal Crossing. So this leaves the question, how do you guys feel about the prospect of DLC within a mainline Animal Crossing game? Do you think this could benefit and enhance the game, or would it be detrimental to the series? Perhaps you stand somewhere in the middle and can see the pros and the cons of such a change in the games. Either way, I think it's safe to say we can still expect to see free content updates for a while, and this is something I'm sure all fans will welcome with open arms as we head into more years for Animal Crossing New Horizons. I want to give a big thanks to the sponsor of this video, The Crossing Board. The Crossing Board is a fan-made Animal Crossing magazine that is the perfect companion for any fan of the series. It's full of cute tips, quizzes, recipes, and so much more related to the series, and it's honestly one of the most charming Animal Crossing things I own. I get my issue every month, and it's something I get so excited about receiving. You can get your own each month by subscribing to the magazine via their website, which works similarly to other subscription services like Netflix and Spotify. By subscribing, you'll get a new issue each month, with the cutoff for the December issue approaching on December the 1st at 12 AM GMT, so be sure to subscribe before then to get your very own December issue. It's such a lovely magazine, and I highly recommend you guys getting a hold of it yourself. Be sure to check out the links in the description to learn more. I want to give a big thanks to the channel members for supporting the content I make here. If you want to become a channel member and get a whole bunch of cool perks, click the join button down below the video or click the link in the description to learn more. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like to show your support. You can also subscribe if you haven't already, and be sure to turn on channel notifications to get notified when I put up new videos.